Good afternoon and welcome to West Coast Model Battleships. My name is Dave, and today I'm doing a review of the Trumpeter 1/350 scale USS North Carolina. Little specs about it. 24 pages of instructions. Pretty straightforward. Don't seem to be too confusing. Not bad. A little bit of close-up detail on them, which is kind of nice instead of being so far out. 24 pages of pure fun building. Get that out of the way for you. And let's go to the hull. Okay, I know it don't fit in there, but she's 25 inches long from bow to stern. And she's 3 7/8 inches wide at the beam. And I did a tape together here. I wanted to show you some stuff about the hull that I found already. So we'll start at the bottom. Got 4 pretty good size injector mold marks, which we all have to put up with. Very small mold lines here that can be sanded off. These can be covered with paint. I don't feel any divots here. I don't know if you can see those or not, but there's like 3 of them that go across the bow. And the big thing I wanted to show you, hopefully this will show up in the light, is this right here. There's a big little spot right here on both sides of this hull that is going to need to be filled. It's in a half moon shape. One side is more predominant than the other, and here it is. So it almost looks like they used the Yamato hull or something with that big bulbous bow to get in there, but it's going to have to definitely be filled. And another thing too is I got this pretty tight on one side, very little difference between the top and the bottom here. Not much of a gap there or offset, but on the other side there's a good 2 millimeters or so of hangover, and it's mostly in the back. So what I'm suggesting is you're probably going to have to cut these right here, all 3 of these, take a little bit out so you can suck that in tight against the bottom part. It is a 2-piece hull split in half, red and gray, as you can see. But definitely you're going to have to probably trim these to get that hull to pull in tight and make a nice seam. Okay. Got the deck here. Deck comes in 3 pieces. And looking at it, got nice little scribe lines for the deck. They aren't broke, just the typical long ones. Stern, same thing. Nice good lines. Pinholes for your mounting your stuff look good, nice and round. Everything's crisp there. Even some detail on the lockers here, or the hatch covers, which is kind of nice. Looks to be straight, no warps. The bow looks like it has just a little bit of flex in that front end right there. That should be easy to take care of. It does have the dreaded molded on anchor chain on both sides. So that's something that you'll probably have to remove, and think about if you're putting a laminate decking over this, you may have to remove this plating underneath and re-scratch build it to get your deck down flush, or you're going to have a little hump in there. Overall looks good. Pinholes look good. Not bad. Have to clean out the spots where the anchors go right here. Probably go all the way through. This one looks good too. One thing I did was my reference material. I'm using this book right here, Wartime Pictorial North Carolina Class Battleships. Pardon that, it's my compressor kicking on. And I was looking at some of the close-up pictures throughout the book, and I don't know if you can see these little molded on stairs, fore and aft, aren't on there. So those are going to have to be taken off square and filled with styrene plastic, or you can putty, whatever your preference is. And then I didn't see any ladders in there. It was just a little alcove, but most of them were in shadow, so I'm assuming it's there. And if you notice along the side here, if you haven't built one of these, it's all smooth. There's no detail. We'll get to that when we get to the sprues. Okay, moving on to the sprues. Here's our first one. Right there. 01 level. Here's your funnels. They look pretty nice. No flash. Everything looks crisp. There. All the portholes are round. Here's your crane. Recommend replacing with photo etch. The gun shields around where the 40mm bow forwards and 20mm would go are nice and thin. They're not too thick. Your 4 or 5 blade props. That looks good. I don't see a lot of flashing. This one is a little wobbly. Hopefully this won't affect this at all. It shouldn't. Nothing, a little tape. Can't handle. Okay, here's where you start getting into your details of your sides. Now notice that like the photo etch kit that I bought, this is all replaced with photo etch in here, but if you're going to use this, these ammo lockers, hatches have all got really nice detail on there. Really good. All the way up. We can see some of that. Not bad. Not bad at all. Even the little, some fine details here for the conning tower, the armored conning tower. I did notice that some of these portholes along here, along the bridge, at least in this one, some of them are filled and some of them are empty. So I would recommend definitely cleaning those out, make them nice and round again. Okay, again, it's more of the superstructure. If you notice, there's not a lot of detail on the sides because we have to add all those parts. But one thing I did notice is they've included all the reinforcements for overhangs, which is kind of nice. You don't have to add that yourself. Lots of injection mold pin marks on the bottom. Very few on the top. I have encountered very few of them so far. Good detail. Here's some more of that reinforcing. Even the little gun lockers up here, ammo lockers, have really fine detail. This is not too thick. Same with these right here. Pretty good. Okay, let's get to the fun end of this. The 16-inch turrets. So looking at the top, got some nice little rivet marks here where they riveted. No flash. Don't see any seams around there. There is the little molded on ladders on the front typical, which will probably be removed and photo etch on, which I would recommend. The barrels, the bottoms look good. The side, no molded on ladders. Use your reference material to see where they go. And the barrels. The barrels are got holes in them. I don't know if you can see that or not, but right there, all of them got it, which is kind of nice instead of having to drill those out. Little radars for the directional finders, range finders. This is the same thing. No, not a lot of flash on there. I don't see seams on there, which is good. Here's some more of the superstructure. Of course, here's your plastic radar. That one's got detail on it. These have all got detail on them quite nicely. Quite nicely. See if they so there's no reinforcing there. You got some injector pin marks, which is all behind the scenes. There's some of that reinforcing. Looks good. Give you that little pop. Alright. This looks like, here's your, these are more your 20mm Oerlikon gun tubs. Looks rudders. Pretty good detail there. Kind of nice. There's the bow brake. Pretty nice. Here's your V pose or V struts for the props. Here's your mast. I would recommend replacing that with brass tubing, of course, transferring the parts. Not bad. Not bad at all. A little more reinforcing there. The small parts do have some injector mold pin or injector pin marks in here still. But overall, I haven't seen too many of those. This looks like gun lockers, 20 millimeters, and your 40 millimeters, plus some planes, chocks, and searchlights. The little gun lockers have got really nice crisp detail on the top. The 20 millimeter Oricons look like a broom handle with a little piece on top. Maybe a resin aftermarket piece would probably do a lot better in there. Chocks don't look too bad. The 40 millimeter bases look really nice. There's a lot more detail than I've seen before on some of these. The plane wings have nice panel lines, scribe marks. So do the outer floats. The plane itself has some pretty good detail. It's real hard to see it, but there's the actual little cockpit back here, or observation. You can see that. The 40 millimeter Bofors have little ribs on them, and they're actually flared at the end with a little cleanup on the end. These wouldn't look too bad. Not bad at all. Yeah, nice little ribs there for your pleasure. This must have been a joke. This is the second fret of them. Same thing. Good detail. I'm proud of it. And here comes the one that kind of bugs me the most. Is these 5-inch 38s. I don't know why these manufacturers have to make it into 1, 2, 3, 4 pieces. Kind of nuts. It's similar to Tamiya on the Missouri build, whether it's 44 or the Circa 91. You got that gap on the side. I don't know if you can see those. You got to fill all that. Plus now you've got to do the back. You have the seam down the center. I'd recommend replacing these with an aftermarket resin, a solid one. The gun directors look pretty good. Probably need a little work to take that off if you're going to do photo etch on the top. Cranes, catapults are all solid plastic like we're used to getting. The barrels, the 5-inch 38s, I'd recommend probably brass. Give that a little pop. The paravane looks alright. Anchor, not too bad. It's got a little bit of detail on it. So does the uppermost rangefinder. Yeah, they've got lines in this one that goes on top. Little lines here, but I'd recommend photo etch. Not bad. The rafts got a lot of detail to them. I know it's hard to see it, but they got the little notches, the grate in the bottom. I would definitely recommend replacing those with a photo etch, resin outline, photo etch in the center there. Same with the square ones here. Replace those, bring out that detail a little more. And then this is the last one, same thing. Those ridiculous 5-inch 38s. Be nice. These manufacturers can make those in a solid piece. Less work for us to do trying to fill all these seams and gaps in. But there's aftermarket parts, thank God. So that's my little review of it. There's a total of 634 pieces to this. This is going to be my next build. And as you saw, I already did the review for the very fine photo etch kit that I got for it that has the decking and all the PE. Really looking forward to getting into this. It's been a while since I've done a full-scale 1/350, about 10 years. My holiday's been since I got back to building. Almost done with the Fletcher. Sorry I didn't get any progress in there. It was just kind of a whim thing to start doing YouTube stuff. You learn a lot from the people, and we share different ideas and techniques and everything. It's helped a lot. But I'm hoping to get this one started soon. And so there you go. That's my little review of the Trumpeter 1350 USS North Carolina, which I haven't seen a review out there. If you want any questions, comments, or concerns, send them to me. And if you want me to try to zoom in on some of these a little more detailed, I certainly can. I can take the time or even do a slideshow for you or whatever to show you the parts if you're interested in getting one of these. I know they're still available. I know they're over $100. The photo etch kit actually cost more than the model did that I bought. So there you have it, my little review of the Trumpeter 1350 USS North Carolina. Thanks for stopping by. Please click that like and subscribe button, and as always, please leave a comment below, whether good or bad. This is Dave with West Coast Model Battleships, and I'll be talking to you soon.